Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And today for your Friday, it's going to be an Into the Void between DrOskar and Nicolas here on Triton, the Ladder Edition. Bottom right-hand corner, it is the red Terran player Nicolas. And in the top left, it is the blue Protoss player DrOskar. Alright, so Into the Void just means it's a Silver or Bronze League replay sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. with a subject of Into the Void. The fun ones are cast. The ones where we have a lot of things to learn are cast. And that's what one of these is here today. So, this is a proxy. Then I will be very impressed, because proxies are very, very rare in Into the Void, but I kind of feel like it's just a scouting SCV. Gateway here, opening for a DrOskar, and yeah, this is just a barracks. Barracks in the main, so worker scouting is very important while you're learning the game. And so I feel like these players are learning the game, so very well done, Nicolas. Now you know you're not being cannon rushed. And that just, you know, just kind of gives you a certain sense of peace. That's all I'm going to say about it. And are you checking for proxies yourself, or are you going to go do a factory here? Oh man, a proxy factory would be so cool right now. Let's see if we do that. I mean, honestly, rush distances are interesting. Ooh, double gas. Back home from Nicolas here too. Kind of like it, honestly. He's making SCVs consistently. The probes are being made here too. It's too many. That's too many pylons here, DrOskar. 22 out of 39 available supply and a double gas. DrOskar is having a bit of a identity crisis here. If you're DrOskar and you're not sure what you're doing with your life, oh, that's just a command center. You need a build order, okay? At least for the first couple minutes of the game, you need to have a build order of stuff that you're doing. That helps you get a good economy up. That helps you get a good army up for the first, 5 minutes of the game. After that, build order maybe not as important to follow, but definitely in the first 2 or 3 minutes, you want to be doing that. In this case, okay, a double gateway opening here. Cybercore is late, making a couple zealots, and then running around trying to see what's going on. Now, the problem here is that the higher levels, if anything is going to show up here, it's going to be Marines or it's going to be Reapers, and Marines and Reapers are both pretty darn good at killing zealots, or at least evading them. Zealots are honestly pretty bad against Terran until you get the charge ability on them at the Twilight Council, so keep that in mind. Anyway, a single Marine heading up the defense back home. Engineering Bay here from Nicolas. Is he going to upgrade this thing to a planetary fortress? I imagine he is. Oh, DrOskar is expanding. Okay, so the expansion timing, while late, and these Zealots, again, entirely unnecessary. What you want to do in the situation is honestly skip the Zealot, make an Adept first, or make a Stalker first. And then you can handle any kind of Reaper harass that's going to show up. And then you expand. Or expand while you're working on that Stalker, whatever. The timing usually works out pretty fantastically. But I like that we're making a lot of production facilities here from DrOskar. That's really nice to see. On the other side, the Terran player not doing as well with that. He's just now getting a factory. He's had one barracks for all this time. He's fully saturated on one base. And you can support several barracks on one base. However, technically, I guess it is 2 base. He's planetary fortressing up that sneaky ninja in the top right, which is always very exciting. I do love a very sneaky ninja base. And making a tech lab on the factory. So we're probably going to see some tank play, maybe some cyclone play. Cyclones aren't really something we see in the lower levels just because they require kiting, which requires micro. Tanks, on the other hand, much easier for the lower level players to handle in general comparatively. So we got Zealots out, we got ourselves some Sentries and a Stalker. I like the composition DrOskar's running with. DrOskar also spending his money pretty well. If we're being honest with ourselves, Warp Gate is done, which is just beautiful. I love to see Warp Gate from a Protoss player going for a robotics facility at 4 minutes. Okay, alright, so the timings aren't too bad here. He's got an expansion, he's continuing to make probes all this time. He is down in worker count comparatively to Nicolas here, but Ninja Expand happily running over that way. And it's going to be a double starport opening here from Nicolas. Oh, Nicolas, is he going? Okay, it's an armory. I was going to say, if that's a fusion core, like double battle cruiser could be pretty interesting here, as Sentries are really bad against battle cruisers, Zealots are worse, and Stalkers are okay, but again, there's only one of those. So man, a battle cruiser showing up right now would really ruin DrOskar's day. Is that a bunker? He's throwing up a bunker. So here's the thing. You want to keep tabs on your opponent. You want to see what they're doing. You want to know when they're expanding. If you're a Terran player, you can use the Reaper to scout. You can use your Comsat scanner to scout here with this orbital command you've got up in the main base. You probably should upgrade your natural to an orbital command too. You just want to know. You want to know what your opponent is going for. If you know what they're going for, then it's much, much easier for you to stop. So the armory is done. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing with an armory at this stage of the game. I mean, I guess it lets you transform your Hellions into Hellbats, which generally, okay. I mean, if your opponent is going for, like, a lot of Zealots, sure, Hellbats could be fine, but Widowmines are better against those boys. So a double starport is done. I don't see anything happening here with it. And again, that is what Into the Void is all about. Is sometimes players just make stuff and don't do anything with it at all. APM, not super healthy for either of these players. 83 on average. I mean, I guess on average is 50 and 55, which seems fairly low. But again, APM is not everything. It's just an indication of what we're doing here and what we can expect from these players. Robotics Facility is getting an Immortal, which is going to be great in pretty much any matchup you are going for. Immortals, fantastic units, unless your opponent's just going for Broodlords or Battle Cruisers or, you know, Carriers or something. If they're going for, like, super big air unit, then Immortal's not as good. But otherwise, Immortals are going to be just fine. Ah, Drilling Claws coming in. Drilling Claws, the Observer scouting. Hey, DrOskar is going for the Scout. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see from you, DrOskar. Definitely scouting it up here. And, all right, so somebody needs to go at this stage. At this point, DrOskar's army is 29 supply to 6 army supply from Nicolas. DrOskar is also just barely behind in worker count, which is fantastic. He's doing a great job continually producing units here, double pumping Immortals at the moment. He's got the resources and the available supply to warp in additional Stalkers if he wants to, which is what I would do here. Pro tip for DrOskar, if you're going against a Terran opponent, you're going to want to get some splash damage of some kind. Although, in this situation, where it's not necessarily a ton of bio, perhaps that is not something you would need necessarily, but just a good rule of thumb. You want some Colossus, you want some Storm, you want some Disruptors. If you can make some of those units, you're going to be in a much, much better position. Slow warp in here because this this pylon. This pylon is not touching a Nexus or a Gateway, so if you want faster warp-ins in this position, then make a gateway at the front, or just put your pylon a little bit further back so it's touching the Nexus with its power field. Anyway, DrOskar says it's time for a third base, and he is correct, man. He is just absolutely going for a third base. He thinks the Terran is stuck on 2. He thinks the Terran is doing really nothing other than hanging out here inside his main base, which is technically true. He does have a sneaky ninja base, but otherwise, that's not something that is scary, you know what I mean? So he's throwing up a ring of turrets to defend against drops, potentially. He did go for the building armor upgrade. The armor upgrade and the thing that increases the slots in bunkers and command centers, which is cool. I don't know if I've seen that upgrade very much, especially not at this stage of the game. But I mean, 62 to 16 total supply. He is just making Colossus here. He's making an Oracle. I mean, when in doubt, just make a little bit of everything, especially if you're Protoss, and you're going to have a pretty good time. But the other lesson is, at the lower levels, if you just out-macro your opponent, you're going to win. Right? So just out-macro them. Move across the map, destroy them, and have a good day. I like that he's got all gas. All of his gas is taken. Same story down south here for Nicolas. His gas income is through the roof. He's floating about 900 gas and 1,000 minerals. So additional production facilities, not bad here. He's making 2 additional command centers, as well as a ton of Widowmines, which he is queuing up here. Is he going Mass Widowmine? Mass Widowmine versus Protoss could be fairly interesting. Although, again, detection exists. We're aware of that. Oh, Oracle tries to fly in and get some stuff done, but Widowmine says no. Oracle honestly could have got some stuff done here if it didn't run directly into this Widowmine at the front. And these Widowmines are just burrowing themselves everywhere. I am kind of on board with this. I kind of like what we're seeing. Is there detection in this group? Is there detection in this group? Yes, there is an observer in this group of Protoss. I don't know where it is exactly, but it's showing up down on the right when you highlight everything. I just love there are Widowmines everywhere. This is kind of a pro thing to do. You set Widowmines in places where Oracles are likely to come across and try to murder you. You generally do that earlier than the 9-minute mark, in all fairness. Look at him just killing that probe. And he's permanently cloaked because Drilling Claws is done. I think DrOskar needs to go. He's got some disruptors too. Oh, he is going for all the splash damage. All right, Ravens here. I mean, this is... This kind of spreading out the Widow Mines in a mass way is fairly interesting. Nicolas kind of double expanding to the third base location. He's just throwing up 2 command centers at the same place. So technically not double expanding, but you know what I mean. Oh, this Widow Mine is fired again. It's got 3 total kills already. DrOskar just seems entirely unaware of the problem here. Because it doesn't tell you your probes are under attack if they just get one-shot and massacred. So, he's just hanging out. DrOskar, seriously, guy, what's going on right now? His APM is 53. Is he going? Okay, he's going. So he's got detection. He's got a big old scary army here. Nicolas is doing something cute, but in the long run, I just feel like DrOskar has the bigger, scarier, better army against this mass Widow Mine shenanigan stuff. No, 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 no. Don't go back home. Keep going. Push it out. I know you're afraid. I understand you're afraid. I understand it's easier to defend than it is to attack. But you gotta go. I'm loving this continued production here. His gas bank is only 200 right now, which means he's consistently building stuff that requires gas, which I love so much. Also means he's not taking his assimilators at his third base, which is the problem. So, Widow Mines did explode on something there. I don't know what it took down. Maybe a disruptor died. No? As long as the observer lives, I think we're okay. But this kind of just feels like DrOskar more traditionally just A-moving across the map to try to wipe out his opponent. And, no, there's not a base there at all. There is a base. Oh, the observer gets picked off. The observer gets picked off. Alert, alert. There is no detection here. Doesn't matter. He's A-moving his disruptors with this army, which is fan-friggin-tastic. The Immortals are coming in, and it's Mass Raven from Nicolas. Where did all these Mass Ravens come from? I guess that's what his army is today. So yeah, the disruptors are dead, which is problematic. Anti-armor missile getting tossed down on all of this stuff? Dude, Nicolas, what are you doing, my guy? Is he trying to take down the Ravens? A little bit. Guardian Shield is up now. Oh, man, the Immortals are just crushing through everything, though. Army supply 95 to 52. Command center down, burning to death all of these SCVs. Missile turret trying to do some stuff here, not really working out super well. Widow Mine is going to fire and take down a couple of these stalkers and not get killed for it because detection doesn't exist, but I don't know how much it actually matters. This is such a weird game. Bam! Another Widow Mine hit. Coming up the ramp here, the Ravens are taking shots at the same time. Colossus and Immortals. Immortals especially really good against auto turrets, you guys. And the Immortals are what's going to do this thing. It's not going to be the Colossus. I mean, you're taking some shots here, but overall it's not that bad. And yeah, the Immortals just crushing through this planetary fortress. The good news for Nicolas is he has that sneaky ninja base, which is going to afford him some income when he really shouldn't have any income right now. His anti-air is actually 0 right now. All he has are Colossus Disruptors and Immortals. What an absolutely insanely weird game we're looking at right now. Is he still making stuff back home? Not really. His production tab is empty. His Colossus are gone. Widow Mines are destroying his disruptors all the livelong day. The auto turret's actually crushing through to a certain extent. The lone Immortal that remains has 5 kills. If he just gets into here... Oh gosh, that Widow Mine though. Chase it, kill it, get out of the range of these Widow Mines. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is what I'm enjoying here. Don't chase, don't chase. What did I just say? Okay, so army supply is down to 26 for DrOskar. He wasn't really building stuff during all of that. He's making, why would you make Void Rays? Void Rays are not good against Widow Mines. Alright. We're gonna speed this up a little bit here, because I think we're in a situation where we're just gonna hang out, and Nicolas is gonna build Widow Mines everywhere, just by double pumping them out of factories and whatnot. Oh, he just burrows them right on in. Big time hits. Big time probe deaths there. 11 probes have gone down. 42 SCVs have died. Nicolas is only down by about 9 workers, though, so it's not a horrible situation to be in. It could be worse. What a strange game this is. The Mass Raven stuff. Flying in, getting rid of the third base as much as possible here, at least. Can they? I don't think they can take it down. They don't have enough time to get it, but it did hurt it. At the very least. Ugh. There's your detection. Alright, so detection is here, but remember what I said about Widow Mines and Void Rays? Oh, the observers get taken out. I honestly don't know if DrOskar Lost that because Nicolas targeted it or what, but the third base is done. DrOskar is down to 37 workers right now. This Widowmine desperately wants to kill those probes, but cannot do it. This one can, though. Oh my gosh. Okay, only 2 probes go down. That could have been so much worse. That could have been a ridiculous amount of worse there. Dude, Nicolas, you're just playing around, guy. Kind of feel like he's just playing around right now, which I don't know how I feel about this. Another detection shows up. Try to save the day. The Ravens flying on into the natural base to try to wipe out this one. Void Rays are going to try to handle this, but Auto Turret's pretty good against Void Rays. Auto Turret ability to shoot up and shoot ground units is pretty fantastic. Nicolas doesn't have the biggest army, but all of these Ravens are having a field day with this right now. More Auto Turrets getting tossed down. The probes are running for their lives, but guess what's over here? Another Widowmine. Oh, they're not going in. They're not going into the Widowmine, though. 22 workers remaining for DrOskar. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, 14 kill Widowmine. You have a nice day. DrOskar's income is in the toilet, but he does have actually 4,000 minerals in the bank and 1,000 gas. He's not just producing anything with it at all. Nicolas decided that his hero, Ketrock, can't be wrong. He's tossing down all the auto turrets up right now. And I mean, they do some things, but they don't actually kill anything, I don't think. They didn't really target fire their targets, you know. Tempest in production from DrOskar. What is this game? What is this game? Oh my gosh. Alright. DrOskar! Down to 1 probe. 7 kills on that Widowmine. Wherever you try to go, there will be Widowmines to murder you. Or planetary fortresses. DrOskar's down to 0 total workers. He's making some Tempest. Is it going to be enough? Only time will tell. SCV's coming down to build a new base. So at this point, it feels like the mass Widowmine play is going to be victorious for Nicolas, as well as the mass Raven play as well. But these Tempests can outrange Widowmines, but if they don't have detection, it will be taken down very shortly. No detection. Oh man, Widowmines are good against players that don't know what they're doing. That is for sure. Man, baby Ketrock here. And, losing a Tempest. DrOskar has 1 gas. This is his army. This is what we're looking at right now. He has no money to make anything else for detection, and I just don't think it's going to be enough. Ravens. Oh, they're just auto-turreting. Oh my gosh. Wait, he had it. If he actually tossed down the auto-turrets, the Widowmines too. Sure, he's losing some Ravens, but anti-armor missiles getting tossed down. Everything's been Dorito missiled here. He keeps trying to throw down auto turrets, but he's canceling the toss downs by issuing move commands, I think is what he's doing right now. Oh, interference matrix getting tossed down. Look at Nicolas using the spellcasters. Not, you know, exception. He wants to kill them by Widowmine. It looks like that's what he wants to do. He's like, I could kill these with auto turrets, but you know what would be better is actually having these die just by the Widowmines that I have randomly scattered throughout the map here. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. This is just somehow DrOskar has a couple probes. No, he doesn't though, because look at that. This game. What a dumb game this was. Oh! And that's it. I think DrOskar's out. He's got 15 total supply. I don't know what that's in right now, to be honest with you. He's got a Tempest left and 2 Immortals somehow. Oh, and he's got detection and everything. Okay, alright. So he's going to slowly try to whittle this down, but the problem is that Nicolas has 31 workers and is mining from, well, 1 base. Anyway, taking this base was a pretty good idea, it turns out. And, oh my gosh, DrOskar's expanding because he can do it. Because he can expand. He has a lot of minerals. He just doesn't have any gas. But the auto turrets are just the bane of everyone's existence. There's nothing that can kill these Ravens at all. There's the 1 Tempest, but man. The Immortals trying to hang on. Can't quite pull it off. And this base is just, that's a cancel. There you go. Canceled it up. Observer is dead too. Widowmine finishes off both of those probes. Interference matrix gets tossed down here. Auto turret getting some damage done. Another auto turret getting some damage done, and that's going to be it. We're out. Tempest down. And now we're done. Now we have 5 total supply, all of which are probes, with another one on the way. Keeps trying to bring probes around to do stuff. The auto turrets have a great time against probes. And I think that's it. I think this game was done a couple minutes ago, but DrOskar playing it out to its inevitable conclusion here. I mean, again, this looks fun. All the auto turrets getting tossed down, but they're going to kill, like, a pylon for all of the work they're doing here. I guess they're trying to kill the Nexus, sort of. And they're going to get the Nexus. You must be the worst player I've lost to. It's kind of embarrassing, but good game. DrOskar with the GG, and Nicolas is your winner in 2146. Does the GG count if he says you're the worst player who's ever beat me? Is that something that counts in your opinion? I honestly don't know. He's repairing up his Ravens here. Is Nicolas smurfing a little bit? You guys think he's smurfing a tiny bit? Maybe just a little bit. I kind of feel like this whole make Widow Mines and place them everywhere play is not something a lower level player would do. And then going into the Mass Raven, which again, I don't think I've seen Mass Raven in Into the Void game before, but DrOskar thinks he's bad, so if Nicolas is bad, maybe that's it. What it all came down to, really, was that DrOskar lost his detection. When he was coming down and pushing through here, lost his detection, didn't just immediately go like into Mass Stalker to try to get rid of these Ravens. It would have done a great job if he had about 10 or 15 Stalkers in this group. He could afford it as well. But he lost his detection, and then the Widow Mine just kept whittling down and whittling down. The Ravens showed up. They didn't have a ton of energy, but enough to auto-turret down some of the stuff. And then over time, Nicolas just wins. He takes down a bunch of Nexuses. At the end of the day here, 21,000 resources lost for DrOskar and 10,000 for Nicolas. Yeah, I mean, what? 8 Ravens, 6 Marines, and 20 Widow Mines died for Nicolas. That's not a whole lot compared to 13 Immortals, 3 Colossus, 6 Tempests, 15 Stalkers, 3 Disruptors, Void Rays, and Oracle, 11 Sentries is a ton of gas, and 3 Nexuses is a huge number too. So end of the day there, I mean, DrOskar had it. He just came up against a really weird, unorthodox strategy and got wrecked by it. That happens. That happens to everybody on ladder. Everybody who ever plays StarCraft every once in a while will say, what was that? And die to it. Unorthodox is one of the things that allows you to be victorious sometimes on ladder. All right. Whew, had to mute there for a giant sneeze, but that's going to be it for me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and an Into the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
And so you must run, and it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live. Place shove. There's a light upon you, and you follow it on. Looking for reason and a way to atone. All around you, the planets and stars. You're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, and you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the void.